Did you put on dinner? Didn't
All right.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Paige,
And I'm Kim.
and we're DKM Skincare. So this is the part 2 of a little bit of our back history. We're talking about me.
Her.
So I want to go back. I'm your second daughter. I have an older sister, but we go back really let's just go back to when you had your stores. That was really probably a huge part of my childhood, was having your clothing stores. And what I loved about, fashion and clothes and accessories and everything, and having so many great memories from that. So, during that time, during your clothing store, I actually started out as an ice skater. I did ice skating for a couple of years, competing.
I used to ice skate.
Yes, you did.
At the same place.
At the same place.
I took lessons.
Yes, and I took lessons. So I was an ice skater for so many years. I got injured, which catapulted me into an opportunity where I did some plays during my 7th grade year. So I took time off from ice skating, and then I was able to do some plays, and I absolutely loved it. I'd always wanted to sort of do acting. I was into sort of show business type stuff from an early age and putting on shows and everything. So I got into acting and into musical theater all throughout middle school and into high school. Some great memories. And then I attended the University of Tennessee. Here in Knoxville, and majored in communication studies with a minor in theater. I did communication studies from the get-go. My first year of college, I attended a small community college while living at home, and I took a public speaking class. And the teacher was, how you have some teachers in your life, like I have a handful of teachers that I can pinpoint that were so huge in my development, and still a lot of the lessons I learned from them I use today. But he was my public speaking class, and I just became so fascinated learning about the history of people, being around people in the class. Especially when you attend a community college, you learn about so many backgrounds. I mean, it wasn't like I was going to a major university with people, 18, 19 years old in my classes. I was dealing with people that were single parents, people that were getting out of the military, some people my age, professionals. So learning from that class and learning from that teacher made me so passionate about communication. So then I attended the University of Tennessee. I graduated in 3.5 years with a bachelor's in communications with a minor in theater. During my time at UT, I worked full-time. Or not full-time, I worked the entire time that I was in college. I worked part-time. I started out in a small little boutique. I did that for about a year, and then I moved into another clothing store that was a friend of yours while you had a clothing store. So your connection with that got me into an opportunity to work part-time while I attended school at UT in retail. Great memories at this store. I worked there about 8 years. I worked there about 8 years, 7 to 8 years, even after college. Working with ladies. I was a very young person to be working at this store, but I worked with some ladies that I still keep in contact today. And from there, when I worked at the store, I was able to come across an individual who was my manager that got me an opportunity to do an internship at a radio station here in Knoxville, a local country music radio station, WIVK. So I started an internship while I was in school. So I was working, going to class, and then I did an internship all at the same time. Was able to work, just doing sort of, I guess, grunt work. And then one day, one of the producers says, "Hey, talking, you do theater, you've done some stuff." And I was like, yeah, I've done that. He was like, "Well, let me try you here in the studio to see if you can record a commercial for me. I'm wanting some new talent, some new voices on the radio." And I said, "My golly, yeah." So I started recording, and he was like, Not bad, not bad. So he actually made a CD of it, and he gave it to the program director of the radio station. And he was like, "You've never done radio? You've never done any speaking before like this?" I said, "No, I've never done any kind of voice work." And he was like, "Okay." So from there, I continued with my internship, and he came to me and he said, "Hey, there's a guy that's going to be leaving the station. It's an overnight position, so I would be working Friday midnight into Saturday morning at 6 a.m. by myself on the radio."
Which she did not tell her mother.
Well, you had to have known.
I didn't.
You had to have known.
No, I didn't.
But I worked starting the last semester of my senior year of college. I started to do my own little show on the biggest country music radio station in the country.
Yes.
It was a huge opportunity, and most college kids are going out on Friday nights and going out and partying. I was working. I had to come home. I would work during the week with you while doing the makeup and the skincare, then working part-time also at the clothing store while attending school, and then I'd come home
And keeping your nephews.
and keeping my nephews, and come home on Friday night, and I'd have to go to bed at try to get some hours of sleep between 6 and 10 or so, and get myself prepped up every Friday night and be at the station at midnight to do it. So it started out, I was very rough on the beginning, but I had never worked with the equipment. I worked with some great DJs that really took the time to teach me, give me pointers. I mean, I messed up a lot on the radio. I mean, pronouncing things wrong, from calling REO Speedwagon to Rio Speedwagon. I mean, you mess up, but
I was listening. I called her and said, "That's REO Speedwagon."
REO Speedwagon Page, but I had just read it on the prompter and, messing up on the radio. But I was so determined. I was like, I'm going to learn this. Even if I make a fool of myself, I'm going to do it.
We're good at that.
We're going to just get out there and do it. I mean, you taught me that from early. Just get out there, just do it. Who cares if you make a fool of yourself? You're learning. Do something different. So I did that for...
Because I made a fool of myself a lot.
Yes, you still do. But...
Thank you, darling.
But I learned that, getting out there, met some great people during my time on the radio station. I even went from doing the overnights into having a show on Saturdays, and then on Sundays having two slots over the weekend, and then I would fill in whoever needed to be. If they'd call me, see if I needed to fill in for someone during the week. I mean, it was just a really cool experience. I mean, really awesome. I also did an internship with television, a television station here in Knoxville as well, where they did a small segment before the news that they would talk about style and life and home decor. That was as well getting into a different realm of TV production and learning that. So from there, I had worked all that time, worked at the radio station, was working at the boutique, working with you. While working at the boutique, I met my husband through a customer who came in, and I was set up on a blind date from there, and I met my husband. Even after being married, I was still working at the radio station and working at the boutique, still working with you. And then, let me think. And then there was one part during my time at the radio station where an account executive, a fabulous account executive, was going to be having her twins. And so she was actually a mutual friend of a family member, and she had given me a call and said, "Hey, I know that you work here. Was seeing if you might be interested in helping me out. I'm needing some help during maternity leave and even after maternity leave, just to help do some work for me, a couple times a week." So that catapulted me into being a sort of a sales account executive, or learning about being a sales account executive. Right. I did that for about a year and a half, I want to say. And from that point, I came across a job opportunity at full-time as a sales account executive. I had to make some tough decision calls to leave the radio station and to leave the boutique in order to become full-time somewhere. So I'm newly married, needing to bring some income. So I was able to go into a full-time account executive job at a business technology company here in East Tennessee, the #1 business technology company, Thermocopy of Knoxville, or Thermocopy of Tennessee. And from there, I worked 5 years. Again, I've been so lucky to work with some great people. I mean, it's a very big thing that when you love who you work for, that's a huge emotional connection that you love to work for. You love to work for who owns the business.
Thank you.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But I mean, but seriously, working hard for someone, and having some great times and memories.
Teaches you good work ethic.
Teaches you really good work ethic. You want to do a good job, and you feel comfortable with your job.
Yes.
and the people that you work for. So from there, I worked 5 years, and then after about almost, let me think here, 7 years of marriage, I became pregnant with my first little boy.
Our argon boy.
Our little argan oil boy. And I had to make the tough decision to stay home from there after 5 years. It was hard. I didn't decide it until like in the middle, not to the middle, but toward the end of my maternity leave, where I wanted to stay home. I wanted to be home with my baby. My husband thought that would also be the best opportunity for us, to be home. We were very fortunate that we were able for me to stay home and with his job. So I decided to stay home. Now my little boy's 20 months old, and here we are. We decided in the past year that we were going to really get back into the skincare game.
I had never stopped.
Yeah, you had never stopped. You've been working through customers and businesses still throughout the time, but now we're bringing it to social media where it had not been.
And we still, we forgot to say that we have it on a very small shopping network.
Yeah, we have it on a small shopping network. So here I am. We are just going away at it, gaining customers, talking to our customers, getting back into the passion that we have for skincare.
Yes.
I mean, that is a very big piece of my life, of being a part of makeup and cosmetics and skincare, but skincare specifically being something that is...
And what did you learn? You learned that all the lipstick, all the eyeshadow, all the blush is not going to really make a difference. You can't cover up those problems.
Yeah.
It has to come from a foundation of skincare.
Yeah. So understand that with my own battles, with skin from my early 20s, it really has been a sort of a passion that I have learned, how to manage good skincare, learning about ingredients, and help to transition, into the next generation where, skincare is really saturated right now, but learning what works best for us and works best for our customers. So here we are, DKM Skincare. After 13 years, we're still going.
We're still here.
We're still going.
We haven't killed each other yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
We've come close.
We've come close.
But we're still here. Yeah. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have some comments or questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. If you like this video, give us a like and subscribe. We're going to have more content coming to us. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and of course our website, dkmskincare.squarespace.com. Thanks guys. Have a great day.